Like what's your time worth? Like if a whole day, guys, if I were to like buy you out from a day, if I said I want you to stop everything that you're doing, come with me. How much would you charge me to make you walk away from the things that are most important to you? So let's just say this is a family day. What's the amount? Is it 10 G's, 100 G, $100, 100 G's, a million, 10 million? What would be your number? A billion? I mean, what's the number for you? I don't know what you have going on in your life, but how much do you value your time? Because I work with a lot of different CEOs, okay? And leaders. One of the biggest challenges for a leader is time. Figuring out ways for them to create more time for the things that are important to them. But I'm going to share with you guys some stuff some strategies in this video to help you create more time for yourself. Because a lot of the time, the issues that you guys have with time aren't actually time issues. They're personal issues, they're leadership issues, they're productivity issues. Okay? And you just have this belief that everybody else around you is pulling you in and taking away your time, and that's not true. The reality is, if I were to like really study where your time went in a day, there would be a lot of distractions, there would be a lot of nonsense, there would be a lack of structure, there would be a lot of times where you're mentally checked out or you're abusing the time that you're given. And so we can clean that up though in this video, all right? I learned a ton about time management as a commander. I was an infantry commander in Afghanistan. I was on my 4th combat deployment. I had 4 platoons underneath my leadership. Okay? We were assigned a NATO mission. And which meant that we had duties and responsibilities with multiple organizations in our AO. Okay? I had an emergency response force that was responsible for reinforcing ground forces. I had another emergency response force that was responsible for recovering downed aircraft or individuals that crashed their aircraft. I had another task force that was assigned to special operations, and then I had one task force in reserve. And those different teams were all on a different shift of the day. They all started work at a different time, and I would rotate them because they would all rotate throughout each of the different mission sets. But I'm just one person, right? I had my first sergeant there and I had my XO there, but I was the commander of the company. And so all big decisions were ran through myself. I was the approving authority for whether or not the guys should go out, whether they could go out. And anyways, you guys know how it is as leaders. And I caught myself, I slept, by the way, we slept right next to this airfield where jets were going off multiple times throughout the day. If you've ever slept next to a jet, oh my God, the sound is so loud that it makes you want to scream when it rips down the airway. So you can imagine this is like having a house full of newborns. Like you're just constantly being pulled, you're constantly being woken up, you don't get any sleep, and this went on for months, almost 7, I think it was like 7 months if I remember right. I was there for 9, a couple of those months I had a different tasking. So in that range, 7 or 8 months. But I got chosen for this assignment because I had a background in special operations, right? And coincidentally, my old Ranger company and platoon was in Afghanistan right across the road, right across on the other side of the airfield. So I got assigned to this company. They thought it would be good because, yeah, I was the right person for that company, chosen company. But I was also had the added benefit of having relationships with special operations with operators that were across the way. And I had worked with Green Berets before, so I was just the right guy for the right job. And it was an honor. I loved that company. Chosen company was great. One of my favorite units I ever served in, you know. We had our ups, we had our downs, and we had some great people there, man. I wish we could have done a few things. We could have gone bigger than we did, but man. Out of that deployment, my boss, do my OER, right? The battalion commander. He put down that we did. I wrote it and drafted it up. He approved it. But we planned for something like 90 missions in that 7 months. We didn't execute on all 90 of those, but we put a detailed mission plan into place for all of those. You imagine? It's multiple times a week doing mission planning. So it'll drive you nuts, especially if you don't get to get out and go on target. But only a small percentage of those actually got pulled off. But point is that this was a mission set that was very taxing, and I was constantly being pulled. Mornings, evenings, freaking afternoons, Sunday, Monday, doesn't matter when, lunchtime, breakfast. There was always a, hey, man, we got something going on. Hey, sir, we got something going on moment. How many of you guys been through that shit in your house? Okay, and the biggest lesson that I learned, which is what I'm going to give you guys today to help you with your time, the strategy, is that it's not the tasks and the duties and the missions that are fucking you up in your life. It's not your kids, it's not your work, it's not the distractions, it's not those things. The problem is your lack of asserting your boundaries. And boundaries are not just closing the door. Okay, when I say boundaries, what I mean by that is that you need to have a very, very clear path for people to access you that you want them to take. Okay, so one of the biggest lessons I learned on creating boundaries is to not put up walls all around me. All right, if you're a leader, your job isn't to just box yourself in a room and put up walls and shit, or close the door and keep yourself isolated. No, you novice. All right, your job is to communicate to everybody and tell them how to communicate with you. Tell them what you want them to communicate with you. So, for example, I'm in Afghanistan. I had to tell the guys, I'm like, man, I'm like not getting any sleep at all. So I had to tell them, here is the information, here is the reporting, here are the situations that I want you to come to my door with, right? And basically I had a rule, which was don't come to my door. Like if I'm in my room and I'm sleeping, do not come to my door and knock the only reason to come to my door and knock and get me is if there's blood, if somebody's going to the hospital, or if it's going to make the news. Okay? And the news included it was something that my boss needed to know. Like a sensitive report, like there's a piece of missing equipment or something like that. So that criteria, I told them, and then I put it in writing, I communicated to everybody, and then I had different criteria for the windows of time throughout the day. Okay, so sometimes we're more sensitive than other times. Point being is that a lot of you leaders right now, your issue with time is that you're not communicating your boundaries. Okay, so boundary isn't just locking yourself in the room, it's informing of everybody of how you want them to communicate to you. How do you want them to distract you? When can they come see you? A lot of times you're just telling them, no, don't do this to me. Don't text me here. Don't call me here. But how do you want them to get a hold of you? How do you, like on Sunday, if you're an entrepreneur, your team, and they hit you up, how do you want them to get a hold of you? Is it email? Is it cell phone? Is it text message? What are the windows that you want? Are you being clear about the type of information that you want? Because the worst problem a problem that you don't want to create is them withholding information. You want your team to push information to you. You don't want them to ever be like, oh, I don't want to give this to the boss yet. It's not. No. You want them to push the information to you because you want to receive it. You just want to filter out the right stuff. So, guys, in closing here, remember this quote. A little added bonus for you. You can't make more time, but you can make better use of it. And the way that you make better use of your time is by communicating to everybody how to use your time. You are responsible for managing your time, which means other people have access to your time. It's like an open bank account, right? They come in there and grab their little hands into your accounts. You got to tell them how much they can grab and when, what accounts they can jump into. No, don't touch the checking. No, you can touch the savings. I know, weird example, but you guys get my point. You can't make more time, but you can make better use of it. One of the top ways that you can make better use of your time is to control the information flow. Inform your team of how to get a hold of you and when you want them to. Think about that in all areas of your life. Think about your kids, think about your husband, think about your wife, think about your coworkers. How do you want them to get a hold of you, and when do you want them to get a hold of you? When is it okay for them to access you? And that will be one of the biggest boundaries that you will set that will free up your time so you can kick ass and win. I love you guys. We'll see you on the next video. Conquer all.